Welcome to the channel. I'm so happy you're here. If you've been following me, you may have noticed that I'm on a bit of a frugality and sustainability journey. And part of this journey has been cutting out a bunch of expenses that are unnecessary, unneeded, bad for the planet, and bad for my wallet. And I want to talk about those today. The first thing I'm going to talk about is going to be pretty obvious to you if you are already a subscriber of mine, and that is anything on Amazon. I canceled Amazon in the summertime and I haven't looked back. I don't even use Prime Video. Last year in 2024, I spent over $6,000 on Amazon. Part of that was business expenses, but only a small fraction of that, like maybe 20%. And even those business expenses I could have got locally and it would have been fine. But I cut out Amazon because I recognized in myself that I was just impulse shopping all the time. Like, I would go on there to get something like house supplies, like toothpaste that I'd run out of, and then I'd see a candle that was being recommended to me, or a book that just had come out that was being recommended to me by an author that I really liked. And I don't need to be exposed to that all the time because I have a shopping addiction, much like most of the United States, most of the Western world. Like, I have a shopping addiction. It's not something I'm ashamed of saying. It's very normal, and I'm doing everything I can right now to combat it. But it's just not healthy for someone like me to have access to Amazon. Like, their system is designed to be like a casino, basically. It's designed to stimulate your dopamine and to get you to have that little dopamine hit when you get an impulse purchase. And it's just not healthy, and you can get everything you need locally. Like, seriously, there hasn't been one thing that I've missed from Amazon that I just couldn't find locally or elsewhere. The next thing I've completely cut out is anything advertised to me on social media. I have a personal Facebook and an Instagram. My Instagram is actually linked in the description box if you do want to follow me. I post a lot of dog photos. I'm not very active on either. I actually am completely logged out of my Facebook. I'll only go on there like every once in a while, like if I need to use Facebook Marketplace or something. But other than that, I pretty much have cut out social media. I don't have it on my phone, and I don't think it's very healthy for me. And part of it is because I was really falling prey to a lot of the advertisements on there. There's just so many cute little clothing shops that are advertised on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm sure on TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I never plan on getting TikTok. I've definitely fallen prey to buying clothes on social media, like Cotton Flower, Harusha people, a lot of these little hippie stores. I've just been like, ooh, that looks so cool. That's like nothing I've seen in real life. And then I'll buy it and I'm like, it's just a skirt. Like, you really don't need that thing that's being shown to you on social media. And I feel like when we see these advertisements over and over again, we start to become accustomed to it. And it really starts to like pique our interest, and we start to feel like, you know what, I'm gonna click on this now and I'm just gonna browse. I'm just gonna like see what the shop is about. You know what, maybe I'll just try this one thing. No. I'm completely cutting that out. I'm not buying anything advertised to me on social media. And I'm also not going on social media very regularly because I know I fall prey to this very easily. The next thing I've cut out completely is going to the nail salon. I used to go to the nail salon a couple times a year, maybe like every other month. And it was just kind of a treat to myself. I wasn't super serious about it. I didn't get like gel or tips. I actually don't know what it's called. No shade to people who do it. I don't know what it's called, like the fake press-on nails. I wasn't into that, but I used it as a way to de-stress and like have some quiet time to myself and just have a moment to like relax. And I've realized that I can do that alone. Like, I can recreate that environment for myself. There's something to be said for like the massage aspect of it, and I can't necessarily like totally recreate that for myself, but I found that the price is just not worth it. Like, I was spending a lot of money. If you're spending $50 for a manicure pedicure every month, like, it does add up over the year. And it would only last like 2 weeks, and I just felt like it was not worth it. And for me, like, especially before my husband and I were living together, I really felt the financial strain of that, and I decided to just cut it out because I just couldn't afford it realistically, and it just didn't seem worth it because it didn't last long enough. The next thing that I've completely cut out is food delivery. So anything like DoorDash, Grubhub, all of those kinds of services I don't use anymore. Like a lot of people, I started relying on these delivery services during the pandemic, and I felt like I just used it as a crutch well after the pandemic was over. Getting takeout is fine every once in a while. At least for me, like I've put it in my budget and it is something that I appreciate and I value. So I do get takeout every once in a while, probably like once a week. And I go physically to the restaurant and pick it up. I show my face, I put on normal clothes, and I go in and I get it and I say hi. And I feel like during the pandemic, that experience of like going into the restaurant and seeing other people, it's just because I wasn't doing it at all. Um, I got kind of scared of it. And it's just something like if you're an introvert and you're very shy, interacting with other people in that kind of scenario can be a little bit stressful. So I feel like I just started relying way too much on delivery services, and I realized how expensive it is and how wasteful it is. And I just was like, no, I'm going to stop doing this. I need to stop doing this. I'm going to be a big girl and go pick up my food in person. The next thing I've stopped buying is makeup. I do wear makeup sometimes. It's not very often. It's probably like once a month. I'm not hating on people who wear makeup at all. I actually think it's really fun, especially if you're like very artistic and creative and really talented. Like, I totally appreciate a good look, but I'm not someone who does that very often. Like, I think it's fun every once in a while, but I just don't do it. I don't do it. I'm very active. I sweat a lot for my job, and I just don't feel comfortable wearing makeup. I also have acne prone skin, so wearing makeup, it just stresses me out. Like, I worry that I'm gonna break out if I have makeup on. So if I do wear makeup, like, I'm very careful to only wear it for like a small part of the day and then I take it off. So I'm just not someone who likes wearing makeup that much, and that's okay. Yeah, I just have one product that I use, and other than that, I just completely avoid makeup. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's fun, but for me, it's just not that big of a deal, so I don't buy it. The next thing I've stopped buying is candles, and this kind of goes along with my quitting Amazon. I feel like somehow Amazon just made me buy so many candles, and I have done some research into the effects of having candles burning all the time, and I do think it has at least a minor negative impact on your health. And for someone like me who's really health conscious and really cares about, like, I'm afraid of getting cancer, like, full stop. I have a family history of cancer, and it is very important to me to live in as healthy of a way as I possibly can. I've decided to just stop buying candles. I do still have candles in my house, and I'll burn them on like a very special occasion. There's probably one behind me. Yeah, there's one right there on my stove. I do still burn them on special occasions, like when guests come over and I want it to smell really nice, or I'll have them on the dining room table while we're having a meal. Like, there is some value to them, but I don't use them very often. And because I'm not on Amazon all the time getting recommended candles, I just don't really think about it anymore. And I've done some simmer pots this autumn that have been really nice. So I'll just boil some water, put in a bunch of spices so it is very aromatic and nice smelling if I want to have that autumn ambiance. But I don't need to buy candles every month in order to like feel seasonal or in order to feel cozy. Like, there's other ways that I can make my home feel nice and warm and cozy besides candles, and ways that are healthier than using candles. The next thing that I've cut out is Uber and Lyft, and this is kind of by accident. It's not like I'm shaming anyone who uses Uber or Lyft. No, absolutely not. I used to use Uber and Lyft a lot more when I was younger, and I would be going out to breweries to meet friends, and I didn't want to drive because I knew I'd be drinking. And I definitely would still do that if I planned on doing that, but I hardly ever go to a brewery or a bar that I can't just walk to. I've moved to a much more walkable neighborhood, and that was by design. Like, I moved here on purpose for that reason, because I wanted to have the opportunity to like go out to these social places and walk there. Like, that was very important to me when I chose where I wanted to live. In my past, like maybe 5 years ago, I was using Uber or Lyft like once a week to go out and meet friends. And It really does add up. I mean, because you're taking the Uber and the Lyft to the bar, and then you're spending money on drinks, maybe some food, maybe some appetizers. Maybe you're gonna go to an arcade after or to a movie or go bowling or something, and then you take the Uber and Lyft back. I mean, it really just does add up, and I much prefer to go to places that I can just walk to and meet up with my friends there, and that's just really convenient and a lot nicer. And I do realize that it's just not possible for everyone. Like, not everyone is going to have friends in your neighborhood where you could like meet at a local spot where you can all walk to. It does come up. It does come up in life because I've deprioritized drinking in general. And I also live in an area that's a lot more walkable. I just rarely, if ever, use Uber or Lyft. And even going to the airport, like, I can't remember the last time we had to use Uber or Lyft. Like, I honestly can't think of it. The airport here has a lot of public transportation options. Like, you can take the bus to the airport pretty easily. So my husband and I have opted to do that. Like, the bus is $2 per person to go to the airport versus parking at the airport or taking an Uber or Lyft or a taxi. So we just use public transportation when we need to. And when we're in a new city, I love using public transportation, and I especially love it while traveling. Like, it just makes me feel like more of a local, and like you can really see the world while using public transportation and see like who's on the public transportation. It's just an interesting experience. So I strongly recommend learning how to use public transportation and getting less reliant on Uber and Lyft if at all possible. The last thing that I've stopped buying is books. I love reading. I will never stop consuming books, but I've stopped buying books. I got a library card and I mostly use their ebook library. Every once in a while, I'll come across a book that I really want to read that they don't have the ebook version of it. So I'll go in person and get the actual physical book. But I have loved using my e-reader, and it's so easy access. Like, because you can go on the library website and get the ebook right there. Every once in a while, I'll have to be on a hold list. I actually have quite a few holds like that I'm waiting for. I always have it like it's a constant rotation. I'll get an email every 2 weeks or so saying like a hold is ready, and I feel like the timing and the spacing of it just always turns out perfectly for some reason. And I'll have like the next book that I'm interested in ready on my e-reader to read, and I never have to buy any of them. Like, I'm funding the library through my tax dollars already, so I am kind of paying for this, but I would be paying that whether or not I used it. So why not use it? Use your library card.
Having fun isn't hard when you've got a library card.
Cutting out all of these items has saved me thousands of dollars a year, and I can't wait to look at this year versus last year and compare my spending since I've cut out all of these things, and just to see how much money I've saved in total, because it's probably over $5,000. If you've cut out anything interesting on your frugal living journey, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I'm always looking for new ideas of things that I just haven't thought of or haven't realized I could replace with something free. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have the best day.